no parent ever wants to have to tell their child they can't do something that they want to do. There's a point where you have to be realistic. You know, yeah, I can do anything I set my mind to, but it doesn't mean it's going to be practical or even feasible. You know, like, every little kid wants to go roller skating, and yeah, I mean, there's ways that with enough um, equipment and enough extra hands to hold me up, they can find a way to make me be able to do it. And that doesn't mean I'm going to have that same experience that all the other kids have. And for me, I'm okay with that. But there's a lot of people that really aren't, especially those that have become disabled, you know, at a point later in life because they remember a time when they were normal. And I never really had that, you know, I mean, I've never seen myself as abnormal, but I knew I was different. People often say that if they were in my shoes, they wouldn't be able to handle the things that I have to deal with. And, you know, I look at life apparently from a different perspective than a lot of people. Um, I I realize that yes, I have difficulties, and there's things I can't really do, but everybody has that kind of an issue. Like, there's always limitations on everybody's life, and you know, people kind of assume that I should be basically constantly depressed, and I see it differently. You know, I feel very fortunate in some ways to be in the situation that I am. I know that definitely sounds odd, but I appreciate the lessons that I've learned from having my disability that I would not have gotten otherwise. I got this, don't you worry, honey. You know, with wanting the same things and having the same desires as everybody else, one thing that I do hope to have one day is my own family and having my own kids. You know, sometimes though, things happen with regard to my disability that makes me wonder if that isn't the most practical thing in the world. One of my worst memories with regard to my disability happened about 5 years ago, I guess. I was hanging out with my oldest niece. She was about a year old at the time and just learning how to walk. And she's to the point where she couldn't really take many steps, but she was gaining that confidence to stand up. And it was just me and her in the room, and she fell down. And she didn't get hurt, but it scared her. And she started crying. And she crawled over me and was looking up at me, pretty much with the expression on her face, wondering why I wasn't picking her up. And I don't really know how to respond to that. You can't explain to a 1-year-old why, you know, you're letting them sit there and cry when they're scared. And that's something that has always kind of not really haunted me, but been put in the forefront of my mind because, you know, she didn't understand, and I couldn't make her understand. But I don't know, because of my disability in her eyes, I wasn't being the aunt that she deserved. The majority of the problems that I have in my life, and the majority of the things that, make me sad actually have nothing to do with my disability. I have all the same troubles as every other 22-year-old girl. And, those are the things, college and getting a job and friends and things of that sort are the things that really, are always on my mind. My disability, while it can kind of, add to those difficulties, that's not what makes my life, depressing or horrible. It makes me who I am, and I have no desire to change that anytime soon.
Look at my feet. She's a foot fetish. Specifically a crippled foot fetish. She likes things that aren't used.